All right. So I was just browsing my Facebook page and I was served this ad from Facebook. So from Facebook Business Facebook page. And I knew that Facebook came out with a podcast. And so I wanted to highlight what they were doing in this ad. This is the first ad I personally have seen for their podcast. Now, I always caution people not to judge too much based on what you see. This is the ad I happen to be seeing, but I don't know how many ads they're running. I don't know at what point in testing they are at. So we're not going to really know whether this is their most successful ad or not, but we can use this for some creative inspiration for some testing that we want to do with our own ads, with our own podcast. So I wanted to kind of break this down for you so that you could get a feel for what Facebook is testing in this ad. So first of all, it obviously comes from their business page. The text up here, this is a short, sweet, concise statement. That's what Facebook typically recommends. And it identifies that you're going to be listening because it says here, right? So we know we're going to be listening. And then it tells us exactly what we're going to hear, how purpose-driven companies thrive in the age of social good. Guys, that's what the podcast is about. So they're just identifying what their podcast is about. And it's funny that they put a hashtag in because hashtags don't do anything on Facebook and they don't do anything in ads. So even on Instagram, a hashtag in an ad doesn't do anything for your visibility. So hashtags in ads are really just to make it look native, to make it look organic or, give it that feel of personality. So they're not really needed, but it's interesting that they're testing them out. Now they've set up a carousel ad, so that's what these cards are. There's multiple cards, and I want to go through and show you what these all are. So these are all videos, obviously, because they're playing and there's sound. So I'll turn the sound on, and we'll give it a listen. Oh, we'll start it again. So this first ad here is just music in the background, and it's walking through kind of a general promotion of what the podcast is. If you read the text, it's actually the same or pretty close to what their text up here is. Hear how purpose-driven businesses thrive in the age of social good. So that card is just an overarching, summary of what the podcast is. Now, the second card takes a slightly different approach.
Copying your idea.
Let me start at the beginning.
So many people ask me, they're like, people are copying your idea. And I said, that's exactly the point.
So this one is much more like an audiogram. They've taken a snippet from a podcast episode that they've recorded, and they've created a video. It's not your typical audiogram, right? It's not a static image with the waves over it, but they've created a video to support that episode. Now it's with, I assume, the CEO or some high-level person, the creator or something of Tom's, a very well-known brand for shoes. So it also has a little bit of that celebrity factor. And then the third card is similar to the first one.
Frankly, our goal is to try and cure blindness and not put another dollar in our pocket down the line.
So what Facebook has done here with these 3 carousel cards, again, they've summarized the whole show in the first card with just some music in the background. You always want to have some music in the background because if somebody pushes play or pushes, to get sound, you want something to play. And then they've got 2 clips from shows. Now on all of these cards, they're using Listen Now for free as their headline. That's the same consistently. And then the Listen Now button. Now let's click on Listen Now and see. It looks like here they're sending them to another Facebook page. Let's see. So they have, ooh, look at this. Ooh, this is so exciting to me. So They have created a landing page for their podcast. So from that ad, that Listen Now ad, they're sending people directly to this landing page. When people land, the first thing they see, it just looks like this one-stop shop where it's telling us the podcast, like this is the cover art. It's an original podcast series by Facebook. This is all simple. Subscribe. Take a look. They've just got the 6 big dogs. Listen on Apple Podcasts, at Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, or the RSS feed. Clear buttons so that when people navigate over, they know exactly where to go to subscribe. Now, because I'm on Apple Podcasts, I'm going to click on this and open it in a new tab. I just want to see, and it's just the link that goes right to the iTunes store. And interesting, so they only have those 2 episodes so far, those 2 episodes that we saw. One that launched in December 10th and one that launched January 14th. So it's still pretty new. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But that is how they've set up that page. Now, when we scroll down, this landing page actually turns into more of your typical website, right? So it's got more information about the motivation for the podcast, and then it even dives into the individual episodes. So you can listen to that first episode we saw from Tom's founder, the founders. They knew it was important. Or you can scroll down and listen to, I assume this is the second one? Or maybe this is an introduction. So that's a little less clear to me. Let me go back to, yeah, that's the first one. So it's the first episode. So they've got the player, you can see the transcript. What happens when you click that? It opens it in a new window, and this must be their show notes page. So their show notes page has the same header where people can easily go and listen on their, app of choice. It's got the player at the top, and then they have the transcript. That's how they've chosen to do their show notes. Just want to see, and that's it. So just the transcript, the player on the landing page. Now let's hop back here. And then at the very bottom, of course, they want you to subscribe. So they've got those buttons again, and another call to action to follow them on Instagram. I'm just curious. On Instagram, they have created their own Instagram account for the podcast. I know that's a question that gets asked a lot. I still am happy having my Instagram account cover both. And it looks like they've got this cute, style set up. Similar to the videos that we just watched. Very interesting. All right. Well, that's all I really wanted to do. I wanted to show you what they were doing. I think this is interesting information. You'll notice too on this landing page, there is a link you can get to the Facebook business account. So there is that link that'll bring you to the Facebook business account. And then there's the share link. And that's all that they have on the site. So there's no links to, blogs or work with me or contact us or about me. Like, this is 100% focused on the podcast. Now, the last thing I want to do before I let y'all go is I want to come back to the Facebook business page. So this is the page where the ad that I saw originated from. And I want to take advantage of Facebook's own tools. They have the info and ad tab over here on the left. And I want to click on that and I want to check out what else they are doing, right? I want to know. So it looks like this is just a different orientation. So my assumption is that they are showing this in different placements. So this is not promoting the podcast. This is promoting just ads in general. Here's another podcast ad. I want to see it from the beginning. So that, again, just a general overview. Here's what's interesting. Oh, I'm getting excited again. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, so here, if you notice, this is a video, an overarching video, right? But notice what happens at the end. There's a button for Google Podcasts. Google.com. Listen now for free on Google Podcasts. OMG. Oh my gosh. So, let me click this link. Open a new window. Open in Google Podcasts. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? It means that they are likely showing this ad to people who are using Google devices. Right? Who called it? I called it. All right, let's see what they're doing down here. Gosh, can you tell how excited this makes me? I feel like this is my DC Podfest talk, all reflected in Facebook's actual strategy. All right, so Facebook Business, here is the same exact video we just watched for Google Podcasts, except at the end, it's got the Apple Podcast button. Listen for free on Apple Podcasts. Now, they are using the Learn More buttons on those ones, which I find a little interesting. But again, they're going to be, these ads are being served directly to Apple users. This is something different. Here is another one, and this again is Apple. So I wonder what's different about these ones. I can't tell what makes them different. I probably would just have to look a little harder. Just another video variation that they're testing out. Another size variation that they're testing out. And again, they are showing ads exclusively to Apple users versus exclusively to Google users. Oh my gosh, who set up this ad? Hey, Facebook, you need someone to help you with your ads? That doesn't look good. So I just wanted to show you what Facebook is doing for their podcast and how closely that mirrors what my advice was for you back in November, before Facebook even had a podcast. And if you are a podcaster, this is why I want you to, number one, download my video. Get my video from November. Watch it. I go through all of the stuff that Facebook is actually doing in their podcast right now. And number two, when you get that video, you're going to be put on a list to be updated. Because I'm kind of trying to look to see if there's anything else super exciting I see in their feed. Here's the other we saw. So number two, when you opt in to see that video, I'm going to put you on a list to be notified when I have further updates when it comes to podcasting content. So what you may not know is that right now I'm running a case study. I have 11 or 12 podcasters that I've connected with. These are podcasters that range from names that you have heard of, that you likely know, and people you may not know yet. Podcasts that have anywhere from 100 to 14,000 downloads in the average month. All right, so we've got little guys, we've got big guys, we've got local businesses, we've got global businesses, we have people in the biz ops space, we've got very niche down businesses all over the place. So I've got 11 different businesses, and we are running a bunch of these ads, a bunch of tests, just like Facebook is doing, so that we can get our own data about what is working well. All right, that stuff is all going to be presented at Podfest Multimedia Expo. That's happening in Orlando, and it's going to be in March, on March 7th, 8th, and 9th. I had to look at my dates. I don't want to say the dates wrong. March 7th, 8th, and 9th, Orlando, Podfest Multimedia Expo. I'm going to be teaching this stuff again. Now, again, you can watch my November stuff, but I'm telling you, the March content is going to be amplified. It is so much better now that we've got these additional people in the case study all contributing their knowledge and experiences and their data to improving these techniques. Who's excited? I'm excited. All right. Thanks for connecting with me today. You can head over to megbrunson.com/pod/pod, and that's how you can access the video from November, plus my quarterly campaign planner, which will just give you some other tips and tricks for making the most out of your Facebook ads. Again, megbrunson.com/pod, and have fun. right? Have fun tinkering in these Facebook ads until March, when we release even more information that's going to really help you just catapult your Facebook advertising when it comes to growing your podcast listenership. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.